does this teacher do? Completely disregards and goes behind the parents' back trying to find ways of how to continue these lesson plans. The level of disrespect that has been shown to Christian conservative parents is becoming very obvious. It's like all of a sudden, just because we don't fit the agenda, we don't fit in within the parameters of the agenda that's being pushed, we're being disregarded and pushed to the side. We're not talking about having people excluded. We're talking about the level of uncomfortability that some parents are experiencing, and that's important. Because if you guys want to talk about including all, listening to all, every student matters, our kids matter too. And we don't want those subjects being taught to children who are just 8 years old. And the topics get worse and worse and the subjects get more detailed. And I'm sorry, are we doing Bible studies in classrooms? No, we're not, right?
Now, this woman is basically talking about the fact that her children are being taught about the ABCD movement and being taught about sex at the age of 8. Okay, now what's going on here is basically the fact that Esau, right?
So why is this a certain agenda being pushed into the classrooms? But if we don't take a stand and we don't share our voice, they're just going to sweep this under the rug.
Children, okay?
Why should a parent overhear her 8-year-old kid being taught about sex?
Are part of covens, okay? Witches. Even at my daughter's school, there's a librarian there who wears a pentagram around her neck. And you can tell through the spirit that bitch is off. Okay? So they're being pressurized and not being pressurized, they're doing it with joy and with glee to teach your children about sex. So when they do get abused or touched up, it's going to be basically basically normal to them, so they can't complain that they've been abused. Okay, at that age, you should be just watching cartoons and eating cereal. Ideally, be learning about the Lord as well in truth, but also just cartoons and cereal. Truthfully speaking, a young lad at 8 shouldn't be worried about getting a hard on, and a woman, a young child, a baby girl shouldn't be worried about getting tingles between her legs. It's not that age. It's a good decade too early. But for that, especially on this side, but Esau's a sick fuck, man. It's in their nature to push vileness. Job 30 and 8, they were children of fools, yet children of base men. They were viler than the earth. Okay, they're vile by nature. Okay, they are vile by nature. Okay, they even have sex with animals. You might remember a couple of years ago there was a young bird, a young Edomite girl. Okay, now women on this side have the power to go up to any man and say, listen, I want to sleep with you. And if the woman is attractive, the man's going to basically yield and say, okay, you know what, I'll sleep with you. You think about it. You're a young man, you're red-blooded, or you're a man, you're red-blooded, especially if you're Jake. Some woman comes onto you and she's attractive, well-built. You're not going to say no. But once you get knowledge in that, obviously you're going to find out if she's married or not. But in your stupid years, you're not going to say no. But these women still would use an Alsatian to go down on them. Job 30 verse 1. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Okay, so there's sick people. Let's just see what she's saying. She looks like a Northern Kingdom sister to me, but she's also saying, okay, if these LGBT or ABCD people are important and their views are important and their values are important, which they aren't, Leviticus 20:13, I'm not going to go into that right now, but their children are important also. If they want to give precedence and importance to this sort of movement, she's saying that her children and their children are important too. They want them to grow up in a normal, healthy environment, which is not going to happen because we're at the end of this thing. But anyway, let's see what she's got to say.
Mrs. Tiber says, good morning, Sally and Craig. As you know, I teach 3rd grade. Today I talked to my class about LGBTQ Pride Month and played
18.
What kind of sex is being discussed? The word sexuality, nudity, does not belong in the ears in a classroom of 8-year-old kids. And when a parent showed their concern, what does this teacher do? Completely disregards and goes behind the parents' back trying to find ways of how to continue these lesson plans. The level of disrespect that has been shown to Christian conservative parents is becoming very obvious. It's like all of a sudden, just because we don't fit the agenda, we don't fit in within the parameters of the agenda that's being pushed, we're being disregarded and pushed to the side. We're not talking about having people excluded. We're talking about the level of uncomfortability that some parents are experiencing. And that's important. Because if you guys want to talk about including all, listening to all, every student matters, our kids matter too. And we don't want those subjects being taught to children who are just 8 years old. And the topics get worse and worse and the subjects get more detailed. And I'm sorry, are we doing Bible studies in classrooms? No, we're not, right? So why is this a certain agenda being pushed into the classrooms? But if we don't take a stand and we don't share our voice, they're just going to sweep this under the rug. Why should it?
Deuteronomy 32 verse 32. For their vine is the vine of Sodom and of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall. Their clusters are bitter. It's natural. Okay? It's natural. Okay? They're moles by nature. Okay? I'm quoting High Priest Ariyah here. Okay? They are moles by nature. Okay? It's in them. A lot of the prophets and teachers out there that joke about it. You know, if you've got Edomites and you hang out with Edomites, don't get drunk with them because it's in their nature. And if you're at work and stuff like that, especially I've noticed it, these crackers, when they get together, what do? When they, whether you work in an office environment or wherever, your building site or in a factory floor, whatever. Okay, once you see that you're having your lunch or whatever, you've got these Edomites sitting around a table, they're always talking about a man's rod. And I thought to myself, and a couple of Jakes we get together and talk about it. I say, listen, man, when Jake gets together, we talk about women. We talk about whatever, right? But normal shit. But when Esau gets together, they're always talking about a man's rod. And I think to myself, what the hell's wrong with these people? Even Elam, even other nations would say, even though they're Moses as well, but you know what I mean. But Esau is just the most vilest. You get me? The vilest. Okay? And they don't believe in the Lord, man. Psalms 14. Okay? The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. And none of these MFers do good, man. Okay? They are filthy and vile by nature, and they are here to corrupt your children, and they are here to corrupt Yasharala, to make them go off the laws. Hence the reason why all this bullshit is pumped in music. R&B music, because Jake got that salt. Jake is pumping adultery music. Man, them like R. Kelly, other people, other R&B singers, adultery. Me and Mrs. Jones, for example. I don't know who that guy was. Old school track. A man talking about being with another man's a woman. Huh? Rap music, drugs. But Jake makes it sound good because Jake, even on the left-hand side, Jake got that salt and still promotes it like that. You know what I'm trying to say? They know who Yasharala is. Okay, and the Most High has hidden us as sleeper cells around the world. Okay? Because if we all had the original look, man, Esau would wipe us out. But the Lord didn't design it that way. So we're scattered everywhere. You understand? Scattered everywhere. Different accents, different looks. You got Jakes walking by, you wouldn't even think that's a Jake. But that's a Jake. Or an Israelite woman. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's see what she got to say. Carry on.
Parent overhear her 8-year-old kid being taught about sex.
Mrs. Tiber says, good morning, Sally and Craig. As you know, I teach 3rd grade. Today I talked to my class about LGBTQ Pride Month and played 2 short videos from YouTube that were geared toward kids. A parent who heard the lesson and discussion made her daughter leave the Zoom and texted me asking when I was done discussing sexual orientation so that she can let her kids back onto Zoom. I was planning on doing more lessons tomorrow and Wednesday, but now I'm afraid to. After sending the email, Mrs. Tiber received a response from Mr. Craig Lewis, part of district staff, that said, do not be concerned or afraid. Your principal should support you, as I know that our district, including Vivian, does, end quote. This district staffer goes even further and gives more media recommendations to the teacher, but says to steer clear of content that says sexual or coming out, since it may raise red flags. In other words, coaching this teacher on proven methods to push her agenda, but to stay under the radar. Immediately after the release of this email chain, the parents at Jefferson Elementary who have had Ms. Tiber as their child's teacher reached out to the principal.
Do you hear that? This lady said that they're trying to push the agenda but stay under the radar. They're doing this covertly. This is all done by design. All done by design. Okay? I remember going to school as a child. There were some teachers that genuinely wanted to teach. And a lot of them that I noticed growing up, right, were like my favorite teacher was a West Indian teacher, so-called an Israelite woman. Okay? We're talking the 80s, by the way. Okay? In London. Right? Lovely teacher. Okay? She genuinely wanted to teach. You know? Couple of Israelite foreigner teachers. Edomite teachers, I don't remember none of them being genuine. You know? You know, and then these people are trying to push this under the radar. They want to stay under the radar but push it. They want to stay under the radar but push it. You know? You probably saw the video the other day as well, like a Jake granddad walked into a school and confronted this Edomite wench, right? Because that bitch put his grandson in a dress, without getting their permission. So they don't need your permission. You know, like they get you to sign all these waivers, and okay, if you're under 18, your parents got to sign for you. These are babies. Are they getting permission now? About teaching them to wear dresses, but learning about to touch their bodily parts. Huh? Learning about the ABCD movement. No, they're not. Okay? You can kiss your ass, man. Bend over, kiss your backside. Because tell you one thing, there is no freedom. Okay? There never was. They gave the illusion of it. We're coming to the end of this thing. Okay? You people want to go with this ABCD and this flip-flop movement, this Mo movement. That's on you. Yeah? But the Lord Almighty in heaven, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, has got something proper like for you. Yeah, let's see what she got to say.
And demanded answers. Why is gender and sexuality issues being taught to 8-year-olds to begin with? With the tremendous loss of learning our children experienced the past 2 years, coupled with the already dismal reading and math performance scores of public schools, why are teachers taking away precious learning time to push their own political and social agendas? In what realm should 8-year-olds be discussing topics around transgenderism, lesbian, gay, queer, and coming out? All words which were repeated many times in these videos. As a parent, I demand an investigation into this matter, the teacher, and the district as a whole. The lid has been flipped, and the level of systemic indoctrination is abhorrent.